covering major news across San Diego. 10 minutes of non-stop news starts now.
Lifeguards are ready for the surf.
10 News reporter Rachel Bianco has been riding with them as they patrol the beach. She's live at Sunset Cliffs to show us what's being done to prepare. Rachel?
Well, they've had a very busy day so far. They started early. We're at Sunset Cliffs. Right now, we've got a handful of wave watchers out here. We're seeing 6 to 8 foot sets here at Sunset Cliffs. You can see a handful of surfers off in the distance. Lifeguards cannot stress enough, this is only for the most experienced, and the biggest swells have yet to come. The high surf brings out the curious, but lifeguards hope not the careless. They're keeping close watch of our beaches. They're working longer hours with increased manpower during what's described as the winter's biggest surf.
We have a lot of inexperienced people that like to come out and have a feeling that they want to surf the big waves, but they're not prepared physically. They don't know what's going on in the area.
Dangerous for even the most experienced surfer. Josh Byrne, a well-known San Diego surfer, nearly drowned at Black's Beach Tuesday. City budget cuts eliminated lifeguards at the popular surf spot. His friends pulled him to shore.
I definitely think if a pro surfer like that on a smaller day at Black's can get hit and that can happen, they should have lifeguard towers down there.
This morning's high tide brought the surf nearly to the boardwalk in Mission Beach. Ocean Beach's pier is closed, along with the observation walkway at the children's pool in La Jolla. Forecasters predict occasional sets of up to 15 feet, especially when the tide goes out later this afternoon.
Still pretty high tide. Once the tide goes out a little bit, it should get a little bit better, but there's still some size out there.
Of course, a lot of people want to check out the surf, but you can see where those people are standing down there and where that man is fishing. Lifeguards do not recommend that. They say the jetties, the rocks are very slippery, and when the water rushes over them, there's always that potential to fall. So if you want to check out the surf, do it at a distance. That surfer who was rescued yesterday is still in ICU at the hospital. This large surf advisory is expected to run through Friday. Reporting live at Sunset Cliffs, Rachel Bianco, 10 News.
Robert, thank you. We've also been keeping an eye on high surf from the air. Sky 10 was above Children's Pool in La Jolla this morning, where the walkway was shut down because of the waves pounding over the cement. You see it right there. 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco has been on the sand at Sunset Cliffs, where lifeguards are prepared to make rescues. Rachel.
Alejandro, the pier and that walkway will likely stay closed through tomorrow, maybe even Friday. We are at Sunset Cliffs, where there are a number of people who have been out here all morning just watching these huge waves. It's beginning to rain out here now, and one of the concerns that the lifeguards were telling us about is when a board breaks. We just saw that happen, and now I don't know if you can see, but we've got a surfer who is out there. He joined up with another surfer, so he's sharing a board, but his surfboard broke. It's way up here along the cliffs. And if he hadn't joined up with that other surfer, he'd have to swim the entire way in, about 300 yards in extremely strong current and rough conditions. And the swells are expected to get a lot bigger later this evening and into tomorrow morning. The lifeguards have been ready for this. They started their shifts early this morning in time for the 7:30 high tide. In Mission Beach, the surf nearly reached the boardwalk on some stretches of the beach. The lifeguards brought in extra staff to prepare for the high tide and the high surf. They normally have 32 lifeguards on a Wednesday. They have an additional 7 today. So far, no major problems to report, but again, that swell, the huge swell that they are expecting, has not yet arrived. The waves that we've seen so far out here, about 6 to 8 foot sets, but again, forecasters have been anticipating that we could see 15-foot breakers. Still dangerous, especially yesterday. Josh Byrne, a pro surfer, was rescued from Black's Beach after nearly drowning. He is still in ICU, and lifeguards say it is easy for even the most experienced to get into trouble.
These waves are powerful, the water is cold, so don't take things for granted, and you need to keep on the safe side and just stay within your limits.
Back out here live at Sunset Cliffs, again, a handful of surfers who are out here. Only the most experienced surfers are advised to even get in this water. You can see over here we've also got a handful of people down along by the cliff here. We have one man who's been fishing and several other people have just been watching. That's enough to make lifeguards nervous. They're just a little bit too close to the water, especially with those waves splashing up and making things slippery. Again, the biggest sets are expected to come in later this evening and especially tomorrow morning. The lifeguards lifeguards say they'll continue with their increased staffing through tomorrow and possibly even Friday. Again, this high surf advisory expected to last through Friday, and also the coastal flood warning. So far, no reports of that, but now we're beginning to see some rain. Reporting live at Sunset Cliffs, Rachel Bianco, 10 News.